Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great new year so far. My name is Thomas. If you haven't been here before, I have a little bit of a different video for you guys today. As you may have known before, I took in my GTI into the shop because of a leak. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it above. But I was given this car as a loaner and I decided why not give it a quick review and my first impressions. I've only had it for about 3 days, but here's what I gotta say about it. Here I have the new 2022 Volkswagen Taos. This is a small compact SUV that has been released since 2018. Volkswagen does have 3 trim levels that are available: S, SE, and SEL. MSRP starts around from anywhere from $24,000 to about $31,000. Today I have the SE trim in platinum gray metallic. I personally haven't seen too many of these on the street myself, and I was excited to see how a VW SUV drives as soon as I got this loaner. As for my first impressions, I do like how the Taos is designed. It's modern, clean, simplistic, and doesn't have too many flashy add-ons. The Taos is offered with a 1.5 turbo TSI 8-speed automatic front-wheel drive, or the 4Motion all-wheel drive 1.5 turbo TSI 7-speed DSG, which is the one I have. The SE trim does feature these 18-inch alloys, which I think looks good and suits it well. Along with that, it is paired with these Bridgestone tires, which handled pretty well for me. Here are some of the highlights of the front. It does have full LED headlights with LED daytime running lights, except for the blinker, which is halogen. I don't understand how that happened. But the lights are pretty bright at night, and it makes it easy to drive. However, there are no fog lights, which I would have loved. And if you're curious like me, this is how the lights look like for emergency and hazards, and also how the car looks like when you are stopping and reversing. Although I am disappointed that there are no fog lights, Volkswagen did make these vents functional, so they actually push air through the wheel well, which is kind of a nice touch. And something I dislike a ton is fake exhaust vents. Another thing I found inconvenient was that you have to press this button in order to unlock the car. It would just be nicer if you can just slip your hand behind the handle, but not for this Taos, which is a little bit annoying. On to the performance. This is a 1.5 turbo TSI 7-speed DSG with a 158 horsepower, 184 pound-feet torque. It's estimated about 28 miles per gallon for the city and 36 for the highway. I do agree that it is nice that the Taos does come equipped with the turbo. I've always loved the torque that's built into these Volkswagen engines. This SUV does pick up quite fast enough to get on the freeway or to pass someone. There's also a sport mode which amps up the feel of the drive, and it actually works pretty well. And it might just be me being picky, but all new cars need to have automatic hood struts, unlike the Pole here. Now, this is where I think Volkswagen shines in many of their newer cars, is their interior. For me, it's just the small details like the leather steering wheel that feels great, the digital dash, the materials used for all around the car. It just makes the car feel much more luxury than it is. As for the chair, it is pretty comfortable. As you see, it's leather wrapped on the outside and cloth the inside. It is heated, which is great for the winter. But one thing I noticed is that it didn't heat up as fast or as hot as my GTI. So it might just be me. One thing that I think is a huge advantage is the 8-way power driver seat, including power adjustable lumbar support. I wish the GTI had that. Here's all the controls in the driver's seat. You get all automatic windows and the plus side of heated side mirrors. The rear continues with the same designs as the front. The chair is just as comfy as the front, no extra lumbar support as it is. But for being pretty roomy, I don't think anybody would have an issue back here. You do get one USB-C charger back here along with just simple fan controls in the back. No extra climate control. But you're probably wondering, where are the cup holders? And here they are, hidden away. Pretty standard stuff, nothing too special. As for the trunk space, you get about 27.9 cubic feet to about 65.9 cubic feet if you fold down the chairs. Now let's talk about this digital dash. One thing's for sure is I wish the GTI had the new virtual dash like the Golf R. But this was my closest way to experience it, and here's my thoughts about it. The screen resolution is pretty high definition. You can see it pretty brightly in the daylight. You do get a few customization on the screens, but there's not much. There's actually only 3 main displays that you get. One thing that you might notice too is, as you see on the sides where it has like a half blue circle, you can't do anything with that. It's just there. I just think it's such a waste of space. And back to the customization, this screen right here you see is the only one you can really customize. It still shows some of the car information, some basic stats and stuff, but that's about it. You can't really do much with all the other ones, and it's just how it is. But to keep in modern time, it still fits the job and it looks good enough. If you have ever owned or driven a 2018 Plus Volkswagen, you may have already seen this infotainment system, but don't quote me on that. I have the exact same one in my GTI and it works well. It pretty much covers all the bases. You get some basic information about your car, you get sound adjustments, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, both wireless, which is cool. I just think Volkswagen did a great job with their infotainment system. It's fast, it's fluid, easy to use, so good job with that. One thing I'm glad also is that Volkswagen didn't change these all to capacitor touch. I still love my physical controls. Super easy to understand, super easy to use. Good job to Volkswagen again for keeping it simple. It does seem that they did add this new gear shift knob. It lights up as depending on which gear you're in, which I think is kind of cool. You get your electronic brake here and also the auto start button. And that's pretty much it. So simple and clean. The only other thing found in here is their driving modes, which this car has a few. You get 4 separate driving modes. You get the snow, on-road, off-road, and off-road custom. And there's actually a sport mode if you go onto the on-road driving mode. The one thing I for sure noticed right away was the speaker quality. It's definitely not the greatest. There's almost no bass, and I've tried to change it with the EQ and the infotainment system. Basically made no difference. I just thought that for the SE trim it would just be a little bit better, but it definitely needs a huge upgrade. You do get your simple light controls on the top here, but one thing I noticed is that interior lights are all halogen. I just think for cars this day and age, it just needs to be LED. Get rid of all halogens. One thing I did notice about these cup holders is that this armrest is not adjustable. So when you're reaching down for bigger drinks, it puts your arm in a weird angle and it feels cramped. One huge thing for me is this weird blue trim that's in the front of the car. Nothing else on the car is blue besides the digital dash, but I do not like it at all. Well, that's about it for my review and first impressions of the Taos. I'm definitely not a car guru or an expert of any kind, but just some of my things that I like about the car and some things that I didn't like about the car. I think for what it is, it's a very, very comfortable car. It's a small SUV and it's very compact. I think it fits many people out there. I haven't driven too many other newer SUVs like this, but the competition is still out there. You have a lot of other choices too, like the Honda CR-V, the Mazda CX-5, Toyota RAV4, and many more. I still think Volkswagen did a great job with this car. I think the SEL trim is the one to get if you want all the bells and whistles, but if you're a true die-hard Volkswagen fan, this one may be a consideration, but I would also recommend you take a look at the Tiguan, which I've never driven, but I definitely like how that one looks more. Thanks for watching my review, my somewhat first review, and I hope to catch you on my future videos with my GTI journey and just anything car related. Hope you guys have a great day. Subscribe, like, and feel free to share this video too. I'll see you guys in the next one.